we're going to learn our muscles of our arm, starting out. Our big muscle groups of our arm. We won't get into the nitty-gritty today. But let's start with up here. We already learned our trapezius. So if we move down from the trapezius, we're going to need this big muscle group right here. Does anybody know what that big muscle group is called?
Deltoids.
Yeah, say it like you mean it. Come on, girls.
Deltoids.
Yes, the deltoids. Does anybody know what the 3 different deltoids are called?
Anterior, middle, and posterior.
Yes, the anterior delt, the middle delt, and the posterior deltoid. So our anterior deltoid is going to do shoulder abduction and flexion. Our middle delt is going to do abduction. And our posterior delt is going to do shoulder extension and abduction. So you see people in the gym doing delt flies. That's what they're doing, extension and abduction. Oh, right? That's what you did yesterday? Awesome. So you know exactly where they're at. That's perfect.
Yeah, I feel them.
So we're going to move down from the delt. We're going to come onto this big muscle group right here. Does anybody know what that's called? That big muscle group's called?
Your biceps.
The biceps, yes. And we have 2 of them. We won't get in the nitty-gritty on those, but we have 2. We have a short head and long head of the biceps. It's not really 2 biceps, but 2 heads of the same bicep. Now what does it do? Anybody got an idea what it does? Yeah. Elbow flexion. Yeah. It also does shoulder flexion. And supination. So it has 3 jobs. Our elbow flexion, forearm supination, shoulder flexion. That's the biceps. All right, we're going to come around to the back side. Say it loud.
Triceps.
Triceps, yes. Anybody have an idea what the triceps do? You got it? What is that motion? What are we going to call that?
Work.
Work. That's a great answer. What are we going to call that motion?
Extension.
Yes, of what joint?
The elbow.
Yes, perfect. Elbow extension. So our triceps do this motion right here. It also, the long head, also does this motion, shoulder extension. So we have 3 heads of our triceps. That's why I call it triceps. We have 2 heads of our biceps. That's why I call it biceps. So we have our right, isn't that neat?
Yeah, I got it.
Right?
Okay.
That's it. We have a long head that goes all the way up into the shoulder. We have our lateral head, and we have our medial head of the triceps. So we have 3 heads of that guy. So let's go back up the top, little review. So what is this muscle?
Deltoid.
Deltoid. What does the anterior deltoid do? Shoulder flexion and abduction. And you're absolutely right. It is a weak internal rotator. So you nailed it. That's good, Suzanne. But yes, shoulder flexion and abduction are its big motions, but it is an internal rotator, and the posterior is an external rotator. So what does that middle deltoid do?
The middle one.
Abduction, yeah. Shoulder abduction. And what that posterior does? Extension and abduction. Very good, very good. And so that deltoid actually comes up and it attaches on the lateral third of the clavicle. So that's what the lateral side of the shoulder blade, or not the shoulder blade, but the clavicle, attaches to the acromion and spine of the shoulder blade, right? To do those motions. And then it comes down to that right here. It's a little area called the deltoid tuberosity. We don't worry about that. So it attaches to the humerus all together. So, and then the deltoid we have such weird names for our anatomy, right? So deltoid is also 3, and there's 3 heads of the deltoid. Fun fact, right? So, all right, we're going to go down. What is this muscle called?
Biceps.
The biceps. What does it do? Elbow flexion and supination and... You started to do it, Josie? Show me. Yeah, that's it, Joy. That's it. Shoulder flexion. Nice. And so the biceps is going to attach from the radius. So it crosses the elbow joint, that's why it moves it. So from the radius, it comes up, it attaches along the humerus, and it comes up and attaches to the, what is that little process called?
Acromion.
No, it's just below the acromion. The coracoid, yeah, the short head is attached to the coracoid. Yeah, and then the long head comes up and attaches into the joint capsule. Very good. All right, what is this muscle?
Triceps.
Triceps. What do we call this motion?
Extension of the elbow.
Elbow extension. Beautiful. What are 3 heads of our triceps? What are they called?
Just said it.
It's okay. You got it. Medial head.
Radial, no, posterior and anterior, or is that the deltoid?
Long head. So we have a
Short head.
medial and a long head. What's the other one?
Short head?
No, that's the biceps.
Lat.
Yeah, the medial head, the lateral head, and the long head. Good, good. And it's hard, right? Because there's, it's a lot of stuff going on back there.
Is that going to be on the sheet?
Yes, I'll put all of these on the sheet. Plenty of practice for all these guys. But so the lateral head attaches to the lateral side of the humerus, right? So that helps. That makes sense. The long head comes all the way up and attaches into the joint capsule, and that's why it's a shoulder mover. A muscle has to cross that joint to move that joint. And so if it does the motion, let's say, we know it does elbow extension, it has to cross the elbow joint to do that extension. So it's going to actually come down and attach on the ulna. The ulna down. What is this called? Starts with an O.
Acromion. You did olecranon.
Olecranon process, yes. The olecranon. Yep. That's good. You got this. It's a lot, right? It's a lot to know. So that's our triceps, and it crosses the elbow joint, and that's why it moves the elbow. It crosses the shoulder joint, and that's why it moves the shoulder. All right.